Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my Loverlies. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I am so happy you found me. I do so hope that you will like and subscribe before you leave. Become part of the Mama family. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned, and definitely when that makeup is cheap. Today is a kind of like a favorites video, but this is my favorite tiny palettes video because I have been using a ton of my bigger palettes here recently, and I feel like the smaller ones haven't been getting as much love, and you guys might not see the love and attention that I do give them, but these are like some of my favorite everyday go-to, I'm in a hurry, I gotta be quick, I gotta get ready to go to the doctor's kind of things. These are the palettes that I usually pull because they're so easy that I don't have to think about them. They just go on the eyes, they're easy to use, they're great formulas, and yeah, they're easy to shove in a purse if I have to do my makeup in the car. They're just really great everyday palettes, and they're teeny tiny. There are, I think, a couple of here, like maybe 5 or 6, not too many. Some of these I use more often than others, but I did want to give you guys a little bit of a variety, just because, you know, variety is the spice of life. So there are some neutral palettes, there's some colorful palettes, there's just a little mix of everything. So the first one I want to talk to you guys about is my absolute favorite. This one is probably the one that I use, I want to say, the most often for sure. This is a newer palette to my collection. This was actually purchased for me by one of you guys. You know who you are, and you are so incredible. Thank you so much for this palette. She actually purchased this palette for me, and then the BH Cosmetics the sorbet, the orange sorbet palette, which I adore so very much. But this one came along with it, and I really like this palette as well. This is the Essence Coffee to Glow palette. Now this is just a teeny tiny, you know, it looks like a cheapy little palette, but I'm telling you, the formula inside is everything. So it is a 8-pan palette. It is an 8-pan palette. I thought that was busted out for a second. I thought that was pan, and I was about to lose my mind. Huh. Okay, so this is a teeny tiny 8-pan palette. These are rosy toned, mauve toned neutrals. They are stunning. These right here, if I wear a neutral look 9 times out of 10, it's going to be these tones. I really love mauve, rosy toned browns. I think they do wonders for both my hair, my skin, and my eyes. It just looks great on my complexion. And then this palette in particular is so easy to throw into your purse. The metallics are incredible. The mattes are creamy, dreamy, and blendable. It's just a stunning palette all over. You have a couple of different metallic shades to choose from in this palette. Though I do think that the range and depth of this palette is not amazing. I think it more than makes up for that in formula alone. It is the most beautiful, easy to use palette. I have mixed every single one of these shades with each other. It really doesn't matter what shade you pick. Everything just works so beautifully together on the eye. This is my 100% absolute favorite teeny tiny palette, especially for everyday use. You're not going to get a ton of depth. You're not going to get a ton of variety. Everything pretty much looks the same. But because of that, no matter what you do, you're always going to come out with a stunning, very neutral, rosy toned eye. I love it so much. If you guys have this in your collection and love it as much as I do, please let me know in the comments. I never hear anybody talk about this palette, and it is so great. I really do wish that it would get just a little bit more love. It is super light and travel friendly as well. Like I said, it is teeny tiny and so easy to stick down in your purse. I absolutely adore this palette. So the next one I want to talk about is the Wet n Wild Blooming palette. Now this one is a little bit more glam. I think that this one might be maybe even more affordable than the Essence one. I think it is more affordable than the Essence one. So this one was released towards the beginning of summer this year. This is the Wet n Wild Blooming palette. You have 2 mattes, a shimmer, and a glitter in here. And this is really great for super easy, very soft, very feminine, but slightly glamorous eyes. Because of the addition of this glitter, it just brings everything to, you know, from 0 to 60. It is such a beautiful, multifaceted and dimensional glitter as well. It really is so, so pretty. I really enjoy this glitter formula as well. It sticks to the eye beautifully without glitter glue or a tacky base. It just stays on the eye and does exactly what it's supposed to do. When you add to that both of these really creamy, they're so light. It is the softest, most feminine, just kind of barely there glittery eye. Excuse me. You get the same look every single time you use this palette. I usually use this in the transition, this in the crease and outer corner, and then I use this on the inner portion of the eye, and then just kind of pat the glitter all over everything. But the combination of these four colors is so pretty, so effortless, and it's effortlessly chic and kind of ethereal at the same time. Very soft, very feminine. I love this palette. I think the formulas in here from the shimmer to the mattes are really great. The shimmer is so pretty. I want to swatch this for you guys so you guys know what I'm talking about. Again, it is super soft, but it has the prettiest light pink kind of reflect to it. I don't know. I like it so, so much. And then you use this with a little bit of that glitter on top, and you just get the most beautiful, it almost reminds me of like a fairy. Just look at that. Look how pretty that is. I really do enjoy this palette. I think it is a great value. It's just a nice palette. If you guys picked this up, do you guys enjoy it as much as I do? I don't use it as much as I would like to, just because I've always got so much else going on. But this is a really great option if you're looking for a tiny palette. I like to keep little go packs in all of my purses in case, because I am running late continuously. So I keep go packs in all of my purses. They have an eyeshadow palette with a matching lipstick and lip liner, and then, you know, mascara, stuff like that, because at least if I don't have time to put a base on or anything, I can at least do my eyes, and this is one that stays in one of my purses. It is part of one of my go packs, just like this is. They stay in my purses just in case I have to go somewhere, have to run out of the house, and don't have time to do anything to my face. These are my saviors. I love them so, so very much. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is a Juvia's Place palette. This is another newer acquisition of mine. I got this the last time Juvia's Place had a sale. I think these were going for around $4 a piece. That's what I paid for this. It is worth that times 3. It is a really great palette. It is the Juvia's Place Rebel Army palette, Rebel Army Quad. You have 2 matte shades and 2 shimmer shades in here. You have a mid-tone green and a darker green, and then you've got a lighter and darker shimmer in here as well. I think the way that this palette is curated makes it really effortless to do a really pretty, very smoky, almost grungy, just because of the color choices. I think it is super easy to use, effortless to blend, super, super pigmented. The metallics in here are absolutely everything. Look at that intense metallic money green. It is like everything. It is my favorite shade in this entire palette. I would have paid $4 for this shade alone. It is the most gorgeous, gorgeous money green metallic I have ever seen in my life. And then add to that these incredibly soft and pigmented matte greens. It is completely and totally effortless and just absolutely stunning. This is my favorite of the Juvia's Place quads. I also have the, I think, this is the Army Greens, Rebel Army. So it's the Rebel Army, and then it's the Rebel Grays. I have the green one and the gray one. And though I enjoy the gray one very much, I definitely prefer the green one. I just think that the color saturation in this palette is insane. I actually think that the formula of the mattes and shimmers in here are even better than some of the bigger Juvia's Place palettes. I don't know what they did to this formula. I don't know what small tweak that they made, but they made it even better. If you guys don't have any of the Juvia's Place quads, definitely check them out. If you're looking for a small everyday kind of eyeshadow or something that's just going to be really easy to throw in the bag and go, really, really great option. And I think that Juvia's Place is having a, is it Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend? Either way, they're having a sale this weekend, and I think everything is like 30 to 65% off. Definitely should go check that out. If these are on sale, I highly, highly recommend. I want to talk about another quad. This one, though, is from Flower Beauty. Now, this one is not such a great value. I think this quad was like $14, and I think that is insanely overpriced. My husband actually bought this for me and I love it. The colors in here are phenomenal. They're the most beautiful, ethereal, iridescent, sparkly kind of fairy light eyeshadows. They're so pretty. But for $14, this is incredibly overpriced. And I really wish that Flower Beauty would do something about that, because they want to be a drugstore brand, but they're priced like, you know, they're solid middle of the row. An average person really just can't afford that, especially me. I know it pains me to spend $14 on this teeny tiny little quad when I can get a quad from Juvia's place for $4. So that out of the way, this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. The packaging is not great. It is thin, teeny tiny, cheapy plastic, but these shades right here, I use these as highlights on the face and inner corner and brow bone highlights all the time. They are the most beautiful, soft, reflective. Oh, this shade right here is my absolute favorite. Look how that looks on the finger. It is dual chromatic. It shifts from pink to a light ivory to, oh, there's almost a little hit of blue in there. It is incredibly beautiful. It looks beautiful on the eyes. Very, very light and not very opaque at all, but that little bit of a shift looks so pretty over just about any eyeshadow you want to use it with. These are topper shades, to be sure, but they're really, really beautiful. And I do think that there is space in my collection for this palette, and even on an everyday, day-to-day basis. It stays right here on my desk because I do reach for it quite often when I'm looking for that little bit of a pop and I don't really know what kind of highlight I want to use, or if I really just want a little bit of more sparkle and shine to an eye look. It is really easy to just grab this and kind of dot it on with a finger and just add that little bit of shine that sometimes my all matte looks really need. This is a great option. I wish it was better priced, but it is a beautiful, beautiful palette. In kind of the same vein is another stupidly expensive palette. This one was a gift as well. This is the Kvd Alchemist Palette. This is one of my most treasured palettes for much the same reason that this is. This is full of the most beautiful multi-chrome highlighter topper shades. So you have the shades Emerald, Sapphire, Amethyst, and Opal. I think the packaging on this is absolute fire as well. Very, very oddly shaped and a little bit difficult to store, but really beautiful anyway. And then talking about the actual shades in here, I reach for this very, very rarely because I am terrified that I'm going to get hit pan on something, because I know in my heart of hearts that I will never be able to justify repurchasing this palette. But it is so incredibly beautiful. Look at that. This is the Sapphire shade, and it goes from this incredibly beautiful, bright, metallic white to the most beautiful blue fire you've ever seen in your life. Sadly, my camera is not going to do it justice, but it is the most incredible. So there is that white, but then it goes into that blue kind of fire, and there's little hits of green in there as well. And then you have the Amethyst shade, which is my personal favorite. You guys can kind of see a little bit of the shift there. Oh, it is so pretty. Do you see that purple fire there? It just brings a little bit of extra just oomph to any kind of eye look. And because I'm playing with it now, I want to put a little bit of it on, because I literally can't touch this palette without wanting to put a little bit of it on. I'm going to go into the Amethyst shade. Let's put a little bit under my brow, just as a brow bone highlight. Can you guys see the fire there? Do you see that? The instant purple fire. I just think it's so incredible. It catches the light in such a beautiful way. I don't have anything else in my collection that does the same thing that this does. It is genuinely a unique palette, and one I think is just so special. I love this palette. Next, I want to talk to you guys about an e.l.f. palette. So this is the e.l.f. Game Up palette. This came out with the new Game Up collection that they just dropped maybe a couple of months ago, probably not even that long. I did do a full review of this on my channel if you guys want to go check it out. This is a really, really great palette. Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a 10-pan palette, but it is very teeny tiny and pretty travel friendly as well. And the reason I picked this is because the variety of colors in here is so fun. Not only that, but the formulation of the shades in here is really fantastic as well. I really enjoyed this palette. The metallics are really, really beautiful. Look at that blue. It is so incredibly beautiful. Goes on the eyes just like it looks in the pan. The mattes are really beautiful as well. Finely milled and easy to blend. Pigmented and creamy. It is a fantastic, fantastic palette. One of the best e.l.f. palettes that I have tried in a very, very long time. I think the color story and even the cheapy plastic packaging, I like the blue on it. I think it's really cute. I think all in all, this is a really great release and a really great palette. Not very expensive either. It's from e.l.f., so you know it's going to be affordable. And if you're looking for a teeny tiny, bright and colorful palette that's maybe going to push your creativity just a little bit, I think this color story is super, super stimulating. I really find it to be so inspiring. And you can kind of combine the colors in here and always create something really fun. I have used this quite a few times and I enjoy the eye look that I've come out with every single time. It's a really, really nice palette. The next one I want to talk to you guys about, we only have 2 more, is another Juvia's Place palette. Now, I did a Juvia's haul a while ago. The same time that I bought this palette, I bought this one as well. And out of that entire haul, these 2 were my favorite 2 palettes. And this one just blows my mind. Every single time I use it, there's just something about the combinations of colors in here that really just rocks my world. I love these bright and vivid turquoises with these super earthy, warm tones. I think the juxtaposition of the cooler toned turquoises with these really earthy warm tones, they just bring out the best in each other and they look so incredibly gorgeous on the eyes. Not to mention that one of my favorite Juvia's Place shadows of all time is in this palette, and I believe it's this one. It is a duochrome. Yeah, look at that. So you can see it's got that really beautiful bright turquoise, but then it shifts into this deep sapphire. It is just so incredibly beautiful. And not only that, but it translates onto the eye just as beautifully. If you guys, I really want to try to show you guys that shift. Every time I talk about this palette, I zone right in onto that shade just because it is my favorite Juvia's Place shade of all time. I just love the shift there. It is so rich and vivid and jewel-like. It is so incredibly beautiful. Super high shine as well, really easy to use. This straight up turquoise metallic is really gorgeous as well. Just completely and totally saturated pigmentation. You know, it's one of the things that Juvia's Place is known for, and oh, they're just so pretty. I love them so much. So this was the money green from the Army palette, and then this is the turquoise from the Allure palette. They're just incredible. I love their metallics, but I also love the fact that they have given you 4 mattes in this palette. So you have 2 really beautiful, vivid metallic shades to kind of accentuate things, but then you have all of these really gorgeous matte tones to really define and map out the eye. Even though there are only 6 shades in here, I feel like there's all kinds of variety in here. There's not a ton of depth, but with this kind of look, with this kind of color palette, I really don't think you need the depth. I think just playing on the contrasting colors is enough. The depth can kind of come in later with a different palette if you think you really need it. But I adore this palette so much. One of my all-time favorite Juvia's Place palettes. This is so good. Again, that's the Allure one. So yummy. And last but not least, I want to talk about a BH Cosmetics palette. Now, this is one of the palettes that if I lose, I will be absolutely terrified and I can't replace it. So it's like, it's very near and dear to my heart. This is the BH Cosmetics Drop Dead Gorgeous Little Bit Psycho Palette. This is a teeny tiny little 8-pan palette. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 8-pan palette. The packaging is absolutely atrocious, but the formula inside is so incredible. So this is my go-to red and black palette. You have a red, a black, and a white, all three of which are incredibly pigmented, easy to use. They do exactly what you want them to. They're mobile, but not too mobile. They blend out easily, but they don't lose their pigment. And then on top of that, you have these two really cool looking shimmers. So this one is a really beautiful deep burgundy kind of purpley wine color that I think is so unique. I don't have anything quite like that in my collection. And then you have this color right here, which is it's like the prettiest baby pinky purple color. It is so frosty. It actually would look beautiful with this look as well. It is just kind of like the prettiest baby pink kind of champagne frost kind of color. And again, I don't have anything quite like this in the rest of my collection. They are so metallic and so highly reflective. They are just gorgeous. In a word, summed up, they're just gorgeous. You also have this deep crimson as well, which is just as reflective and just as beautiful. So there's that deep metallic crimson. And the thing I like about this shade in particular is it's got a black base to it, so there's depth to it. Like, you get that beautiful shine and that beautiful refraction, but there is a depth to it because it has a black base that just makes it look so much more dimensional than just a straight up metallic shade. It is so incredibly beautiful. And then on top of that, you've got this bright pop of yellow in here, which is just really great. It is a really fantastic pigmented yellow as well. Yellow is one of those shades, along with purple, that is really difficult to formulate. A lot of times, just because of the nature of the color of yellow, it looks ashy and, chalky sometimes. This, however, does not. It looks absolutely beautiful on the eye, nicely pigmented, really bright. Super pretty. I think that this is a very interesting color story. I think you've got a lot of basic colors in here, but everything put together it's just interesting. I think it's just interesting and cool, and I love it so very much. So guys, those are my very favorite teeny tiny little pan palettes. Let me know in the comments below, what are your favorite tiny palettes? What are your favorite kind of travel palettes? I would love to know. Is there something I'm missing? Is there something that I need to kind of look into? Please let me know. Guys, as always, I will list everything that I talked about in today's video in the description box below, along with the tags to all my other socials. So if you guys are not following me over there, please make sure you go do that. Post lots of fun content all the time. I am so getting into this like reel thing. I am loving making TikToks and reels. It is just so much fun. I'm really getting into the short form content. And also, if there's anything that you guys would like to see me do, if there's anything that you'd like to see me talk about, please let me know in the comments. Suggestions are always welcome. And until next time, my beautiful, amazing loverlies, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important. Bye.